So, are you okay for me having a bit of fun now?
To get the questions done. I don't want my breakfast coming out.
It's good. I'm going to make you car sick by the time we go.
I see what they mean now. Welcome back. I'm Adrian, and this is What the Pun. So today we have welcomed back Stav once again. You may recognize him from before when I did the RBAF 595 video, and today we're not looking at his RBAF 595 again, but we're going to look at another vehicle that he currently owns. And before we get started and jump right into that particular car, we're going to talk a little bit about his car history. So to start off with, Stav, thank you once again for coming on the show. Really appreciate your time. And can you please tell us what car did you have prior to the car you currently have, please?
Hi everyone. Right, so my previous vehicle before my current one was a BMW M4 convertible, which I absolutely loved. I owned the vehicle for just over 2 years. Amazing car, definitely one of the best cars I've ever owned. Great in the summer, even though we have a very little summer in Britain, as we all know. So having that roof down was quite a rarity. But when I had it down, it really made me feel special that I owned something really, a great machine. It was a brilliant car. I had to make a decision after 2 years whether to keep it or, you know, as with any car, they start to devalue. I won't go into too much detail what my next car is, but that's what we're going to move on to. But the BMW was great. I'll own one again tomorrow. There's a but to that though.
And whilst you had that BMW as well, you also had RBAF 595 as well. Also before the 595 we've seen in the other video as well.
That's right, yes. So I had the previous one wasn't a competizione. It was the normal RBAF, which was a great little car. I used that for getting to work and all the little runs to the supermarkets and that, because you don't really want to take a bigger car to a shopping centre or supermarket. So yeah, that was a great little car.
The first experience I've seen with you with that your original RBAF was every time I'm in the car park, just arrived at work, just parked my car, and then I'd hear this really loud, aggressive car coming up into the car park, and I'm like, all right, must be a Lamborghini. Get the iPhone out. Let's take a picture. And then I see you rolling up.
Yeah, it's a noisy thing. I've got to say I'm not best in terms of the neighbours at the moment, but no, they've got used to it. They're fine. But it is a noisy car, and yeah, definitely. We've already done the other video, and I still love the car just as much as the day I bought it.
So, all right. So having known that you've had that BMW, you've now had 2 RBAFs, and it's safe to say you're a bit of a petrol head.
Definitely. Well, how many cars? I made a long list of car vehicles that I've owned, and I think I'm up to about 15 to 18 different vehicles in my time. A lot of them are hot hatches. That's always been my favourite. I've never been a lover of big vehicles, so the BMW was one of my larger vehicles. I've always had smaller cars. That's why I love the RBAF so much. So getting used to a bigger car was a thing for me, but I do like big cars now, but I still, out of choice, I wouldn't go for a massive car, no matter how powerful it is, which takes us to the next question. Why have I got what I've got?
So Stav, would you please tell everyone what car that we're here to talk about your ownership experience with, please?
So my current vehicle is a Tesla Model S, the P90D, which has got a dual motor, so there's a motor in the front and rear axle. Totally different to anything I've ever owned, and I'm sure we're going to go into it, but that is, wow, it is the future, I must say, it really is.
So, alright, let's go and have a look at the car right now. Stav, your other car is a Tesla.
It sure is. Yeah.
and for me, this honestly is the first time I've been in the Tesla as a passenger. I mean, I've been to like the dealers in Brent Cross and wherever else they've popped up. Had a look inside, and personally, as a passenger, this is my first experience, and I quite like the interior, the design of the Model S. I quite like the finishing on the materials they've used inside. The roof lining is very nice. The material used on the dash is very, and I like the contrasting in colours. Did you pick this? Did you get an option to pick the colour scheme inside your interior of this car?
I think as standard, I believe it depends on what colour your seats are. So if there's lighter coloured seats, I believe you're going to have darker dash. There could be an option to change it, but as with any car, any option is going to cost a few quid more.
Okay. And you said this is the P90D.
It is, yes.
And if my information is correct, your 0 to 60 is about 2.8 seconds.
Correct again, yeah.
Your front motor is at 255 brake horsepower. Your rear motor is at 496, I believe. Weight of this car is more than a Range Rover, Stav.
Wow.
It's 2,200 kilograms.
That is a lot of weight. Wow.
And the range, it's over 300 for this model?
No, it's not actually. So this is one of the earlier generation Model S's, and I believe the range, I would say, is about 240 miles. 240
miles. Still, in comparison with a lot of the modern like electric cars you can get now.
Yes, they've improved it.
That is basically in comparison to the top spec of you would get for any other electric car from other manufacturers at the moment. A lot of decent electric cars on the market from, I don't know, Volkswagen, Audi, Jaguar, Mercedes. Their range is about 240.
Yes,
most of them are averaging 240. And if you're looking at more the entry level ones, you're in the hundreds.
Yeah.
So this at the time, how old is this now?
This is coming up to 4.5, 5 years old now.
4.5, 5 years old, so, and to have that kind of range.
Yeah, it is really good. But obviously, with the new Model S's now, you're looking at 300-400 miles on the higher end ones.
I think you can. I think you can opt for like a battery plus or some kind of option on some Teslas now that take it up to like even more, I think.
Yeah, there's long range performance. Obviously the performance models have slightly less range, so it's about really the size of the battery. Battery technology has moved on as well, so it's going to get better, not just for Tesla but for all vehicles. But yeah, the newer ones have got some serious range. Very impressive.
Having told the audience, I built you up to everyone. I've told them you've had, two R-Bars, a very nice BMW, and we didn't even go over your 15 car history.
Yeah,
at all.
I don't want to talk about some of those cars though.
and it's safe to say you're a petrol head. So, what made you go electric and buy the Tesla?
Right, two main things for me. When the Tesla first came out, I thought the idea of having a battery car was really good. It's something that I knew eventually we'd move on to. Mm-hmm. But more than anything, what made me buy this particular car was the power that it had. To be able to do 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds, you're looking at, nowadays for a petrol version, you're looking at £150,000 to £200,000 car. So
easy.
Yeah. So that was one of the main reasons, and obviously the idea of it being electric, amazing for the environment. Running costs as well, that's another thing. It's not hardly anything to go wrong mechanically for the car itself, so that was another plus point. Charging as well, with my particular one, which I've been quite fortunate, there is no charge for charging if you use a supercharger network. So supercharging is free for the lifetime of the vehicle.
So this is only for
Up to 217, so 2017 models.
Okay, so is this only for Tesla owners as well?
Just for Tesla, yeah.
Ah, so very exclusive.
Yes, absolutely. But that's only on the Tesla network. So if you've got a Tesla, that's a Model S, I think from 2014 to 2017. I think the majority of them have the free supercharging, which is a massive saving, fuel-wise, should we say, or electricity-wise.
I mean, you've had this Tesla for 5 years, and in terms of your pocket,
yes,
have you noticed this difference? Considering that you drove a BMW that literally guzzles the fuel.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's true, especially obviously if you drive it quite hard. And it's very similar with an electric car. If you drive it quite hard, you're going to notice it's going to use more power, so the battery's going to get discharged quicker. So it's a similar concept really for an electric vehicle. Running costs on the BMW were quite high, but even the modern fuel engine has really improved as well. So the 4-litre engine of today is not the same as a 4-litre engine of 10 years ago, should we say.
More power, more efficient.
Yes, yeah,
definitely. It's safe to say, Stav, you've had the car for a while. I'm guessing you've seen some changes. And changes in particular with the charging network. Compared to when you first had the car to now, would you say there's been quite a significant improvement in terms of the charging network and availability in terms of charging for yourself?
For myself, definitely. Obviously, I think this is where Tesla have the massive advantage. They have their own network, but on top of that, you can use the public network as well, whether it's a council building, a shopping centre, a supermarket. You've got the best of both worlds. Tesla were there first, obviously, with their charging network, so they had the head start, shall we say. I'm sure the other manufacturers will catch up, but for now, they are the leaders. The network has grown a hell of a lot, especially the Tesla network. It's on a lot of motorways now, so you won't really get caught out for your battery going flat on a long journey. It's there and it always works. That's the main thing. The main issue with the other networks is half the time they don't work, or you've got to sign up for whatever. With the Tesla, you just plug it in and it works. That is the biggest thing.
I can so relate to that. Having the Peugeot for that short amount of time, I kind of felt like I've experienced the frustration other EV owners have experienced with the charging network, having go to a particular point to charge, and there's only one available, but it's in use by someone else. So I'd have to either sit there for 20 minutes or 30 minutes waiting for this person to finish before I can charge my car, or it's broken. I'll go to like an Asda where they have 4 charging points, thinking, oh yeah, they'll be available. Okay, 2 are in use. Oh, the other 2 are broken. So I kind of feel like the short time I've had the Peugeot, I've really experienced the trouble, the frustrations EV owners have to face.
Yeah, exactly that.
Do you feel currently with the charging network, there still needs to be quite a huge improvement to accommodate for when majority of the population are driving electric cars?
100%. At the moment, it's not moving fast enough. You need a bigger network because, for the simple reason, people are buying electric cars. If they're in flats, there's going to be a problem really, because obviously they can't have a charger outside their flat half the time. So they're reliant on the public network, which at the moment is just not good enough. And the biggest issue is the amount of different companies there are out there. So you sign up for one, which won't work on the other. So it's quite confusing. It needs to grow, and I think there needs to be one standard for all manufacturers for charging. At the moment it isn't there, so whether the government kicks in and helps out, I don't know, but it really needs to expand. It needs to be in more and more places like more lampposts, for example. That's an option. Wherever there's electricity, they need to have chargers everywhere really, for it to really work.
I totally agree. It's just, like I mentioned with my short experience with Peugeot E208, it's just, I never feel like there's enough. I spent a lot of Sundays. That's when I would decide to. Oh yeah, I'll go out on a Sunday, get the Peugeot topped up, I'll be going from one charging point to another charging point to because they're always occupied until I reach the third or fourth one. I was like, oh, finally I found one that's free.
Yeah,
I can charge the car. And a lot of these petrol stations like the Shell, they only have the one Shell recharge point, or if the BP Pulse ones that hidden behind the hotel, there's only just the one as well. Whereas now, right now we're at a service station with the Tesla network. There's loads of them.
Yeah.
There's loads.
This is one of the busier ones as well. So yeah, I'm about to top up my charge. And there's a big choice here, and all I'm going to do is plug in, and it's going to work. And that's the way it should be. You go to a petrol station with your petrol car, you just fill up. As long as you put the right fuel in, you're good to go.
There's one thing I have a problem with.
Yeah.
With even with the Tesla charging network and all the other charging networks, when I fill up a petrol car, I have a roof over my head. When it's raining, I know I won't get wet when I'm filling up my car.
Yeah.
And at the moment, even with a Tesla and any other electric car, wherever you go to charge, there's no roof over your head. You're gonna get drenched for that short amount of time you're plugging in the car and unplugging the car.
That's a very good point. I've actually seen they're starting to build now roofs with charging points as well, so they've obviously thought about that. That's a really good point, especially we need that for this country.
Yeah, exactly. And even if you're someplace in California with the sun, you want some shade. You don't want to be sitting inside the car with the sun beaming inside you and getting roasted.
Absolutely makes sense, yeah. But so it's get the cable out and put the charger in as quickly as possible if it's raining heavy as well. Definitely.
Okay, so we're at the charging network. Let's see how how Stav gets on.
Okay.
Right. Where was I?
Right, you're getting ready again?
Oh, jeez. Alright, I'll have that in the videos. Hopefully not lost the camera in the process of this. Thanks, Stav.
Sorry about that. Had to be done though.
Over the years you've had this car.
Burnt the lights by the way again.
Over the years, since you've had this car, have you had any problems? Like, you've had this for 5 years. Any mechanical issues? Because, you look online and some of these earlier models, there are a few tinkering quality issues, I would say. There
is. There has been a few. Nothing major. From what I'm hearing, some people have had an issue with the suspension because it's an extremely heavy car. So there's been a few earlier Tesla models that have had collapsed suspensions. So I think something to do with the ball joint or something like that along those lines. So there was a bit of a recall for a few of them out there. Luckily enough, mine wasn't one of them. Personally, I've had a few things go wrong with the car, but nothing different to any other manufacturer really. One being the main front light, that's failed. A few of the LEDs have failed recently. Very expensive replacement, but it was done under warranty. The car is still under warranty. I think the replacement front light unit alone would have been £1,500, so that got done under warranty, which was great. I had the car once go into limp mode, so something was wrong with it mechanically. I don't know exactly know what. It was a part they had to change. Again, that was done under warranty. A few little things like the hazard button wasn't working at one point. Little niggly things which was resolved. So I've had a few journeys to the maintenance to get it repaired.
One thing you did mention, hazard light button.
Yeah.
I've just noticed, once you said that, I looked at your car here right now, like right in front of me, the screen, this massive touch screen.
Yeah.
There's literally
hardly any buttons
apart from your window switches.
Yeah.
And then the hazard lights. What's this button do?
So that will open the glove compartment.
that open glove compartment, and then it's just touchscreen.
Exactly that, yeah. So a lot of it is done on touchscreen. I think the Model 3 now has got no buttons whatsoever. Everything is done solely on the touchscreen.
Okay.
I'm a bit old school. I like the buttons because they're easier to fill. Who wants to be fiddling around with the touchscreen? It's good. The main things like a hazard especially needs to be a button, a physical button, I believe.
Okay, so any other problems?
So the other thing I wasn't very happy about, which is quite common, there's been a few panel gap issues. So during manufacture, that you can notice that they're not aligned properly. It's for example, between the wing and the door, it's not aligned. So I've had that looked at and rectified. It's all been adjusted. I'm just trying to think what else there could have been that's gone wrong. Nothing really majorly. There's not a lot to go wrong with these cars because they're all electric.
Yeah, so a lot less parts than a normal combustion car.
Exactly that, yeah.
What would you say is the best part about owning your Tesla Model S?
You got it, that's it.
It's when you went that, like, you just shook everything and, like, all my insides are all over the place right now, so I'm a bit off balance right now.
You get used to it. The best part, I've got to say, is they are, if you've got a high performance one, they are something else. It's like driving, I don't know, a Bugatti or whatever, a really powerful car. And the main thing is that they grip to the road unbelievably. It's very difficult to lose control of this vehicle because it's so heavy and it's low centre of force or whatever.
More than a Range Rover, Stav. More than a Range Rover.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, they stick to the ground like no one's business. So the main thing is obviously never having to go to another petrol station again, being able to charge at home. I'm on one of these really good tariffs as well, so it costs me peanuts at home to charge in the evening. So I think it's one of the big providers are doing good deals for nighttime charging. So I do a lot of my charging at home. And how often do I charge? Maybe twice a week. Obviously that's down to usage. I've done several long journeys. I can make it to Cardiff in one charge, but what I tend to do is stop halfway and just top up so I've got enough juice for my time there as well. So that's great. I don't have range anxiety, which is a common term used.
Yes.
People worrying about your battery going flat on a journey. That doesn't happen.
I think for you have the advantage of the Tesla network.
Yes.
And a lot more charging points at a charging station, and then also the availability of using other ones as well.
Yes.
So you've got, like, much more choice than the average electric car owner.
Absolutely, yeah. There is that. And personally, I haven't used the the non-Tesla chargers really hardly at all. I'm just trying to think. Oh, there is several car parks. There's one near my work as well. They have public chargers, which are great. They charge at 7 kilowatts an hour. So it's a slow charge, so if you're there for a few hours, it's great to be able to top up your battery. So that would apply to any vehicle really, not just Tesla. So the charging is just the main issue. Obviously the bigger the battery, the more range you're going to get. So having a big battery is really, really important if you're doing long journeys. If you're around town, you can get away with a smaller battery.
With this Model S, what would you change about it if there's anything that you could change to make it even better for you?
For me personally, it's too big a vehicle. I did mention earlier in the video that I'm not a lover of great big cars, and this definitely is a great big car. It's a bit of a lump, shall we say.
Yeah, I remember that time you came round, and usually the spot that my dad parks his Range Rover in, you make that spot look small.
Exactly,
my dad's Range Rover is already very, very large, and my dad can get in, and there's still space available either side. When this car, in the same space as my dad's Range Rover, it makes that space look tiny.
Exactly, so it's a lot wider. The car is too wide, so going through width restrictions is a scary moment, so I try to avoid them whenever I can. 6.6 I think would be a struggle. 7 foot with restriction, you might be able to just about get through without scraping your alloys. If anything I could change, it would be the size of the Model S. Just a little bit smaller would be great. Obviously there's the option of getting the Model 3, but that is a smaller car, full stop. The Model S is just slightly too wide, I think, so that's the main thing.
Okay, what would you I mean, like, what is there that, you know, as an EV owner for so many years, frustrates you the most about being an EV driver, owner?
Most frustrating thing? That's a good question, because I'm trying to think, really. I suppose not enough charge points would be the main thing, which obviously I talked about earlier. It's not too much of an issue, but if I didn't have a Tesla, that would be the biggest issue. So if I bought a VW as my next car or any other brand, it would be a major issue. So that is the biggest frustration. One thing I don't think I'd ever be buying is another EV with a small battery. You'd have to get a minimum of 60 kilowatts on a battery, I think, for my personal use.
Yeah, because you're doing a lot of trips to Cardiff on a regular basis, so you can't be driving one with like in the hundreds.
No,
you'd be stopping so much.
Exactly that, yeah. So I mean, there are a lot of small cars now with batteries, but they're, like I said, they're okay for around town. But if it's just your only vehicle in the house, I think you really need to think again and get a bigger battery really for your needs.
Okay. Well, thank you, Stav.
It's okay. It's a pleasure.
Thank you for sharing your experience with the Tesla Model S P90D. Got it right this time. Really appreciate you sharing your experience with everyone. So, you know, what next after this? What next? So, do you plan to continue keeping this car for a while, or do you plan on at some point moving back into, you know, something more fun? Back into a combustion engine car at some point?
No, I'm happy with my Abarth as my little run around, which is a great car. That's going to be my combustion car for the near future. In regards to my current Tesla, because I've had it for nearly 4 years now, it's coming to a point where the warranty is about to expire. Parts are extremely expensive, even though not a lot to go wrong. But if something was to go wrong, for example, a door handle or a light fitting, I could get extended warranty. That is an option.
How much do they charge for extended warranty?
With Tesla, they do a third party, which they work together with Tesla. I think for 4 years, it's about £3,000.
That's not bad.
So 1,500 is another option for 2 years.
Okay, that's not bad, but it's pretty similar to what Porsche would charge for extending the warranty as well. It's similar kind of price range.
Yeah, it's very comprehensive as well. It covers most parts, but the main thing is, even if I was to let my warranty expire, the battery and drivetrain, which is like the motor of the electric vehicle, with Tesla is covered for 8 years.
Okay.
So that's good, because the battery is the main concern, because that's the most expensive component on the vehicle itself. So yes, I could keep it and extend the warranty. I'm thinking about it. I really am.
Anyways, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much as well for joining me once again on another video. Stav, it's nice to have you on.
It's been a pleasure, Adrian. Thank you. I've really enjoyed it.
So, if you're enjoying the content, please make sure you are subscribed and also click on that notification bell. That's it from me this week. I will see you all next time. Bye bye.